What about pregnant women? Like, do you think pregnant women and old people can learn Reiki? Doesn't Reiki require some kind of a talent, some kind of an educational skill, or some kind of a high IQ or graduation or something like that? Does it require some kind of education? Like, how does this all fall into place, especially with the old age people? I think, how would Reiki help the old age, like
Yeah,
to
so
begin with?
here we are trying to cater with a lot of different type of people. So
Yes.
let me go one by one. You asked me about pregnant women, you asked me about elderly people, you asked me about specific qualification. So a
Yes.
lot of things. So first and foremost, the good news is that Reiki doesn't require a person to be, like I said, of a specific qualification. Anyone and everyone can learn Reiki. You need to have that willingness to heal yourself as well as to heal other people. And even if you say that no, I'm not into healing other people, I just would like to work on myself, yes, Reiki is still for you. So it works well for pregnant women, because the best thing about Reiki is that Reiki means life force energy, universal life force energy. That is the literal meaning. Reiki is a Japanese word. So Reiki basically means positive energy. Life force
Mm-hmm.
energy is positive energy.
Yes.
So when we are going to boost someone's positive energy, that woman is going to benefit as well as the child is going to benefit. So it works wonderfully for pregnant women. And again, the best part about Reiki is that it doesn't have any side effects. It doesn't do anything negative. I mean, it is impossible to do anything negative because it itself means positive energy. Same is the case with elderly people. So in fact, because they've gone through so much and they've seen so much, and there's so much healing that needs to happen, if they especially have not tried anything before like meditation or any other modality, Reiki is like the opening door for them to their own healing as well as to find that inner peace and happiness.
So
Yeah,
especially with the
so
old age, I think there are a lot of diseases which crop in, no?
yeah,
Pain in the knees, pain in the back,
yeah.
even sometimes migraine and headache. They cause a lot of, I mean, emotionally and physically also. There's a lot of difficulty you have living that kind of life. So you feel for day-to-day basis, and people who have got migraine problems for past 5 6 years. Do you really think Reiki can help those people as
Yeah,
well?
Reiki can help. And remember the other day I was telling you about, again,
Mm-hmm.
one of our clients to whom we had given this Reiki healing music, and she had migraine for almost 25 years.
Okay.
And she had to listen to the Reiki healing music for about 3 to 4 months, and it's completely gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it has never come back. Now, let me explain you a little bit more. When we say that someone has migraine or someone has, say, something which is psychosomatic. So,
Yeah.
first and foremost, science has proved that 99% of the illnesses are psychosomatic, which means their root is there in your mind, the emotion that a person is carrying. So, Reiki works on that particular emotion, it doesn't work on the physical body. So, if my knee is paining, Reiki is not going to work on the physical body, it is actually going to work on the emotion which is triggering this kind of pain in the knee. Same is the case with migraine. If somebody has migraine, they give themselves Reiki. Reiki is going to go to the root of migraine. So, the root of migraine basically is the bottled up anger, the anger that a person could never express.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you give Reiki for that particular headache, it is actually healing all the anger that you have bottled up. And that's how you start finding a lot of relief.
But so would you say that once we've learned Reiki, we can just continue, say maybe taking Reiki and not go in for other treatments like medicines and I guess psychological doctors or surgeries and stuff like that? What would you suggest? Do we do that in tandem, or do we just stick to Reiki and just follow that?
So if a person is already using some medication, or the person is actually consulting some, say, psychiatrist or psychologist, and they're getting their counseling done, in that case, again, some of our clients, so they come from such a background that, okay, I'm already doing my counseling, but counselor only has suggested me to try meditation, try Reiki.
Okay.
So can you help? So Reiki works parallelly with any other healing modality. So may it be medicine, may it be any other energy healing therapy or even meditation, Reiki is going to work parallelly in a way that it will never crisscross. So you will not have any side effects, and your body and mind will start responding better to the medicine that you're using.
So it's I guess more peaceful
Yeah,
environment,
yeah.
right?
And then the good news is that most of the times when they start with Reiki healing, that particular issue that they're facing completely gets healed. So they don't require anything afterwards.
But then, won't you say that after a Reiki session, like now, normally a person who comes to you, like, and takes a proper Reiki session from you, so after that Reiki session, some people do. I've heard like they get a Some people have a breakdown. Some people get very sensitive about certain things. Like, for example, if their root chakra or something is not healed, and they are becoming sensitive about their issues because you bring up those emotions. So, how would you define this? Like, since you said there are no side effects,
Yeah.
then what about this? Like,
So now suppose a person has gone through trauma, or the person has gone through, say, some heartache or heartbreak or loss of a loved one. So they are carrying a lot of grief in their heart chakra, that lot of emotion. It's like literally a ball of emotion that they carry in their heart chakra. Now what happens is that when you start giving Reiki to them, the emotion which is deep in the heart chakra starts coming to the surface so that it can be out of the system. It can get completely dissolved. So when it starts coming to the surface, that time they start feeling a little bit of that emotion, which sometimes can make them cry. And crying is also good for health. And that also can happen for, say, 3 to 4 days. But that is not a side effect. That is actually you're coming face to face with the emotion, which is literally transitioning from something inside of you and going out. So that transition, I like to call it that, makes you feel a little emotional sometimes. Yeah, but it is not caused by Reiki. It is something which is already there, which is just trying to get out of your system.
so it's basically the feeling of, I guess, wellness.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. This is just a handful of people who have that kind of.
Yeah, very, very few, very
Yeah,
few.
just a
And that too
handful.
depends on what level of trauma a person has. If it's extreme level of trauma, then obviously the person is going to shed some tears while it is going to be healed.
Yes.
And that is true for each and every healing modality, whether it's, say, hypnotherapy or self hypnosis or even any kind of psychotherapy. So there is a point when they remember what has happened and then it has to be healed. Good news about Reiki is that it's very subtle. So they don't have to re experience the whole thing. It's just a little feeling that, okay, that emotion has been there. So it's a acknowledgement.
But does it take very long to be attuned in level 1 or